Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a topic that affects millions of lives every single day. Drugs. But not just any drugs. We're talking about the most commonly used ones and their fascinating effects on our bodies. From the caffeine that jumpstarts your day to the occasional beer with friends, we're taking a scientific look at how these substances tick. So buckle up, get ready for some mind-blowing science, and let's unravel the mysteries of the most commonly used drugs together. Ready? Let's get into it. First up, let's talk about everyone's favorite molecule, caffeine. This little compound has a huge impact on our daily lives. Yep, the stuff in your morning cup of joe, that warm, aromatic brew that kickstarts your day, that energy drink you reach for in the afternoon to power through the slump, or even that comforting cup of tea you sip on a chilly evening. Caffeine is the world's most popular psychoactive drug, consumed by millions every day across the globe. Now, caffeine works its magic by messing with a little something called adenosine, a neurotransmitter in your brain. Picture this. Adenosine is like the sleep signal molecule in your brain, telling you when it's time to rest. As the day goes on, adenosine builds up, and when it latches onto its special receptors, it's like hitting the slowdown button for your brain, making you feel tired and ready for bed. This is your brain's natural way of winding down. But here's where caffeine struts in like a superhero, ready to save the day. It's like the ultimate imposter, sneaking into the brain's party uninvited. You see, caffeine's chemical structure is similar enough to adenosine that it can sneakily bind to those same receptors, fooling your brain. But here's the catch. Caffeine doesn't actually activate those receptors. It just sits there, blocking them. Instead, it's like putting a block on them, preventing adenosine from doing its job. This keeps you from feeling sleepy. The result? You feel more awake, alert, and ready to tackle that to-do list with newfound energy and focus. Pretty neat, right? But hold your horses, because like any good superhero story, there's a flip side to this tale. Too much caffeine can lead to some not-so-super side effects like the jitters, anxiety, and even insomnia. It's a delicate balance. Long-term overuse of caffeine can even lead to dependence, making it hard to function without it. So the next time you reach for that third cup of coffee or that extra-large energy drink, think twice. Remember our friend adenosine and the delicate balance going on in your brain. Moderation is key, folks. Too much of a good thing can be harmful. Enjoy your caffeine responsibly, and your brain will thank you for it. Cheers to a balanced and energized life. Alright, let's talk about nicotine. This tiny molecule has a huge impact on our lives. Found in cigarettes, cigars, and e-cigarettes, nicotine is a common companion for many. Nicotine is a stimulant that's hooked millions of people worldwide, creating a dependency that's hard to shake. When you inhale nicotine, whether from a traditional cigarette or a sleek vape pen, it doesn't just linger in your lungs. It races to your brain faster than a cheetah on a sugar rush, reaching its destination in mere seconds. Once it arrives in your brain, nicotine heads straight for these tiny welcome centers called receptors, which are like tiny docking stations. Specifically, it targets receptors that love a neurotransmitter called dopamine, the brain's feel-good chemical. Now, dopamine is like the life of the party in your brain. It's responsible for feelings of pleasure, reward, and motivation. It's what makes you feel good when you achieve something. Nicotine binds to those dopamine receptors and mimics dopamine's effects, tricking your brain into feeling pleasure. This results in a flood of dopamine, filling your brain with feelings of pleasure and satisfaction, almost like a reward. It's like hitting the feel-good button on overdrive. This is why smoking or vaping can feel so calming or satisfying, especially in the moment. That's a big reason why smoking or vaping can feel so calming or satisfying, especially in the moment, but this feeling is fleeting. But here's the kicker. Nicotine is highly addictive. It doesn't take long for your brain to start craving that dopamine rush. Over time, nicotine starts to rewire your brain's reward pathways, making it crave that dopamine rush more and more. This rewiring makes it harder to quit. The more you use nicotine, the more tolerant your brain becomes, meaning you need higher doses to get the same effects. This is how addiction deepens. This can lead to a vicious cycle of dependence and addiction that's incredibly difficult to break free from. The cycle can feel never-ending. Nicotine is also a known troublemaker for your overall health, linked to serious health problems like heart disease, lung cancer, and stroke. The risks are significant. So while that quick puff might seem harmless in the moment, remember that nicotine is playing the long game. It's a journey with long-term consequences. Next up is alcohol, a staple at parties, dinners, and celebrations worldwide. Alcohol is a depressant, meaning it slows down your brain activity. Think of it more like alcohol takes the brakes off certain parts of your brain, especially the parts responsible for inhibition and judgment. That's why after a drink or two, you might feel more relaxed, chatty, or even a bit more daring than usual. But here's the thing about alcohol. It's a master of disguise. It starts by affecting the areas of your brain that control higher-level functions like decision-making and impulse control. That's why you might do things under the influence of alcohol that you'd never dream of doing sober. As you drink more, alcohol starts to affect other parts of your brain, including those responsible for coordination, speech, and even breathing. Drinking too much, too often, or too quickly can lead to what we call alcohol intoxication. This is when your blood alcohol content gets so high that it starts to seriously interfere with your brain and body's normal functions. We're talking about symptoms like confusion, vomiting, seizures, slow breathing, and even coma. In severe cases, alcohol intoxication can be fatal. So, the next time you're enjoying a beer with friends, or sipping on a glass of wine, remember that alcohol is a powerful drug that should be treated with respect. Let's talk about marijuana. Whether it's smoked, eaten, or vaped, marijuana is widely used for both recreational and medicinal purposes. Now, marijuana's main psychoactive ingredient is a little something called THC, which stands for tetrahydrocannabinol. THC works its magic by interacting with the endocannabinoid system, or ECS for short. The ECS helps regulate a whole bunch of important functions, including mood, memory, appetite, pain perception, and even immune responses. When you consume THC, it's like dropping a pebble into this intricate system. THC binds to receptors in your brain called cannabinoid receptors, particularly those found in areas associated with pleasure, memory, thinking, concentration, sensory and time perception, and coordinated movement. This interaction throws off the ECS's delicate balance, which explains why marijuana can have such a wide range of effects. Some people feel relaxed and euphoric, while others might feel anxious or paranoid. While marijuana is often touted for its potential therapeutic benefits, it's important to remember that research in these areas is still ongoing. And just like any other drug, marijuana comes with its own set of risks and potential downsides. Now let's cover prescription drugs, specifically two major categories: opioids and stimulants. These medications are often prescribed to manage pain and attention disorders, but they come with significant risks if not used properly. These are powerful medications that can be incredibly beneficial when used correctly, but can also be dangerous, even deadly, if misused. First up, opioids. These drugs are often prescribed for their potent pain-relieving properties. Opioids such as oxycodone, hydrocodone, morphine, and fentanyl are a class of drugs that are primarily used to relieve pain. They are often prescribed after surgeries or for chronic pain conditions. They work by binding to opioid receptors in your brain, spinal cord, and other parts of your body. These receptors are part of the body's pain control system. These receptors are involved in pain signaling, meaning when opioids bind to them, they essentially block those pain messages from reaching your brain. This can provide significant relief for those suffering from severe pain. Now, while this pain-relieving effect can be a lifesaver for people dealing with moderate to severe pain, especially after surgery or in cases of chronic pain conditions, there's a catch. The very properties that make opioids effective also make them risky. Opioids are highly addictive. This addiction risk is one of the most significant dangers associated with these medications. When you take opioids, they trigger the release of dopamine in your brain, just like nicotine does. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter that plays a key role in how we feel pleasure. This dopamine surge creates feelings of pleasure and euphoria, which can make you want to keep taking the drug, even if you no longer need it for pain relief. This is how addiction can start. Over time, your body can develop a tolerance to opioids, meaning you need higher and higher doses to achieve the same pain-relieving or euphoric effects. This can lead to a dangerous cycle of increasing dosage. This can lead to physical dependence, where your body starts to rely on the drug to function normally. Dependence can make it very difficult to stop taking the medication. If you suddenly stop taking opioids after becoming physically dependent, you can experience withdrawal symptoms, which can be incredibly unpleasant and even dangerous. Symptoms can include nausea, vomiting, sweating, and severe pain. Now, on the other side of the spectrum, we have stimulants. These drugs are often prescribed to help manage attention and sleep disorders. Stimulants like amphetamines, such as Adderall, and methylphenidate, such as Ritalin, are typically prescribed to treat conditions like attention deficit/hyperactivity disorder, ADHD, and narcolepsy. They help improve focus and alertness. They work by increasing the activity of certain neurotransmitters in your brain, primarily dopamine and norepinephrine. These chemicals are crucial for attention and alertness. In people with ADHD, stimulants can help improve attention span, reduce hyperactivity and impulsivity, and improve executive function skills like planning, organization, and time management. This can make a significant difference in daily life. However, stimulants also come with their own set of risks and potential side effects, including anxiety, restlessness, insomnia, loss of appetite, increased heart rate, and elevated blood pressure. It's important to use these medications under strict medical supervision. So there you have it. Caffeine, nicotine, alcohol, marijuana, and prescription drugs. They're all around us, shaping our lives in different ways. From that morning cup of coffee to the medications we rely on for our health, it's important to remember that these substances, while common, are powerful chemicals that can have a profound impact on our bodies and minds. Understanding how these substances affect your body, both positively and negatively, allows you to make informed decisions about your health and well-being. If you found this video eye-opening, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. See you next time.